but they didn't recycle things like they do now. So he was quite a character. And then another one, it was around the Palace Hotel a lot. And even when they moved over into the building on the south part of the street, Tri-Street, where they had the Palace dining room, they called it, and was Charlie McLaren. He's one of the early settlers here, and McLaren's and the Kavanaughs, and you hung around that kitchen there when there's baking pies and things, and he was always around when they made custard pie. He come in the back door and asked Miss Mattie if they had made pies yet. So when there was a day they was going to make custard pie, he'd always be around to lick the pans when they poured it up into the pie shells to be baked. So he was quite a character. And then the Badgeleys lived here. They lived across the street from where Blanton's lived. And they ran the Badgeley Ford Motor Company that was here when Ford cars was sold. And they were these open top. We used to call them Tin Lizzie. And they run that for a number of years. And it was there on the corner across the street from the Palace Hotel. And that where everybody bought their Ford cars. We even had one to deliver groceries in, stripped down the color of the jiffy, and delivered groceries in. And we had one when we moved out on the farm. And Papa and I was delivering milk one night and got over on the soft shoulder of the road, and they flipped across the ditch and turned upside down. So we come crawling out from under it, and somebody come along and took us to the house. When we got in the house, my coat started falling off. I mean, it had a battery acid on it, and it didn't get on my skin. I was lucky at that, but that coat just fell apart. And neither one of us got hurt much. I got one skin nose on my nose. So we was pretty lucky getting out of that. And we run the dairy business here for years and years there when we lived out in the country. And take milk to town. We got 10 cents a quart for it. Look what we pay for it now. All those years, all that hard work went into bottling it, bringing it in, putting it in bottles, hauling it down, delivering it around, and mud, snow, sleet, and everything else, wind, you name it. The milk wagon went just the same. I think that was built in 1912 or 13, and so I was real small then. And the older one, I don't remember much about it because I was too small. And it was just a frame building. Well, it wasn't built very good, and it didn't last too long. And then the other one was started over on the corner there at the center of things here in this town. Everything else put up around it. And well, it had it's a three-story building with a basement and everything. And recently they put in an elevator. The First Methodist Church was started here. It was up southeast part of town, in the Lynch home. Lynch's bought that building. It was a T-shaped building on that part of the ground. And they had the services there. The first services of the Methodist Church was held at the home of Colonel Goodnight. There were 6 people in attendance of that church. And it was Colonel and Miss Goodnight, my father, his mother, Aunt Jane and Uncle John, Aunt Ricky and Uncle Martin McCurdy, and another fellow that Papa didn't remember who he was. And that the names of all those people are on the back side of that plate that they had made of the Methodist Church. And a lot of people around here still have those plates. And that was made around 1924, somewhere along there. And then this new building was built in 1929. The older church, the big church that was built when they first, after they moved out of the smaller one, there at the Lynch home. Then they had on the corner was the entrance. On the southeast corner was the entrance. And then the office part was up in the belfry. And they had the bell up in the top part of it. And they still have that old bell. It's located there in front of the Methodist Church that's here down now. And then Brother Michael, when he was preacher, he had what they call the Boot Sunday. All ranchers and everybody come to the church with their boots on. So that's how come it could be called Boot Sunday. He told about the saloon. Of all things to have in Claude, Texas was a saloon. And it was on the west side of the jail. And Skid Ellis was the one that first run it. And over back north of that was the Weaver Hotel. It was run by my grandfather and grandmother. Then, and Mr. Carr, that's another old-timer and photographer that used to live here in Claude. And he had his little shop on the south side of Davis Feed Company. It was there on that corner. And everybody enjoyed the pictures he made. He made a lot of them around this town. And some of them are still around. The drugstore over here has a lot of them. I look at them every time I go in there. And the school, the old school building, and everything.